Another loaded show coming your way on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, and here's what's coming up. Eagles players react to the Brandon Graham season-ending injury. He's a Philadelphia city icon, but also an Eagles icon and a consummate pro, the ultimate leader for this Eagles team. That's why he's a team captain. So it's hitting this team hard on and off the field. With that news, we're going to take a look at some players who Philadelphia could sign to perhaps replace his production, and also some internal options who could get more snaps. I do want to say thank you to the Bird Gang, because what we do here on this show would not be possible without all of your support and you watching the program. During our watch party on Sunday Night Football, we surpassed 92,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for hitting that sub button. If you want year-round and daily coverage of the Birds and shows like this, be sure to lock us in. And as you can see, we're on that road to getting that silver plaque from YouTube, 100,000 subscribers. So you know the news by now. Brandon Graham out for the year. Told reporters after that dominant win over the Rams that he tore his triceps as he was getting chipped during what was a tremendous game for him. Had the sack against Matthew Stafford and was really causing a lot of havoc against the run and against the pass. And Brandon Graham all year has been an excellent player, ageless in a way, in his 15th season. He's 36 years old, yet I thought he was putting together one of his finest seasons in recent memory. He had that sack of Matthew Stafford, which elevates him to third all-time in franchise history in sacks behind Reggie White and Trent Cole. And in that game against the Rams, he was getting it done in all facets. 3 quarterback hits, 2 TFLs, 1 pass breakup, and a sack. Of note, he did say prior to the 2024 season, when he signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles, that this would be his final year. But then he kind of walked back on that a few weeks ago because he was playing so well and said, I'm not sure if this will be my final season or not. And then when he told the reporters in the locker room after the game that he was going to be out for the year, he once again said, I haven't made a decision, but if this is it, pretty much it's been a great ride. But with the way that he was playing, I honestly wouldn't mind if the Eagles brought him back on a 1-year contract. Serves his role well as a rotational player. He's not going to be a full-time player any longer, but you don't need him in that role. And this year, he was in that role and really playing well under Vic Fangio. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 78.6. What stood out to me this year, and maybe what I was most impressed by, is how good he was against the run. An 80.1 run defense grade. It felt as though every game he was making a tackle in the backfield against the run. Good as a pass rusher, 71.8 the grade there, 3.5 sacks, 20 pressures on 169 pass rush snaps, in addition to 13 hurries and 3 quarterback hits. And Eagles players inside that locker room know how long BG has been around this organization and how much he means to the fabric of this city and to this team. And so they don't take this news lightly. That's why so many of them were going up to Brandon Graham on the sideline and talking to him as he told them, yeah, I'm out for the year, torn triceps. And they didn't take that well. Here's what Jalen Hurts had to say about BG. I told him that I was there for him. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate for the man first and the teammate second. A guy that has endeared himself to this franchise, who always tries to uplift those and really just teach the younger guys that are coming in. You got to think, with the guy as deep as he is in his tenure, it's bigger than the game, and that's why he's still playing. His pursuit is to be his best self, but really be the best teammate he can be to serve everyone that he can. And so I know the man, the conversations that we've been afforded to have, and it's unfortunate. And when the Eagles tweeted this news out, that Brandon Graham is out for the year, a lot of current Eagles quote tweeted that, giving him well wishes and positivity. A lot of former Eagles were also quote tweeting this. And that just speaks volumes about the player. Lane Johnson, who has battled for years against Brandon Graham in the trenches during practices and training camps. Quote, for me, I'm devastated for him because he's probably one of the best leaders I've been around, not only how he plays, but how he mentors the young guys on and off the field. He's kind of like a father figure to a lot of these guys, and a guy that I think his story screams perseverance and resiliency just with everything he's overcome, especially the year he's having. Everyone thought farewell tour was us just tipping our hats on it. But hey, this effing guy can play football, and he played at a very high level. I'm hurting for him. I love him. And you think about his track record as a player. When he was drafted in the first round by Andy Reid out of Michigan, a lot of people wanted Earl Thomas over Brandon Graham. BG got off to a slow start. Earl Thomas ended up being one of the best safeties of the generation, and people thought Earl Thomas over BG, that would have moved the needle for this franchise. Philadelphia had a bad miss on Brandon Graham. He reversed that, and he reversed the narrative that was out there about him, and he ended up being a more longer-term player as compared to Earl Thomas, and more important to the Eagles organization. Had the most important play in the history of this organization, Super Bowl 52, with that strip sack on Tom Brady. Here's what Saquon Barkley had to say about BG. I wanted to include this because Saquon's only been with Brandon Graham for 1 year as a teammate. The energy and the passion that he brings, not only to this team but the city, he epitomizes what it is to be a Philadelphia Eagle, and all of us have to get in line and try to follow and try to accomplish the things that he accomplished. Well said for the MVP candidate in Saquon Barkley. If you think Brandon Graham is an all-time Eagle, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. I don't know if there's anybody out there who disagrees with that, so we should be able to get a lot of people who hit that thumbs up icon. Guy's third all-time in the organization in sacks behind Reggie White and Trent Cole. That's good company right there. So Eagles players reacting to BG. Coming up next, just around the corner, players who the Eagles could sign if Vic Fangio is comfortable and wants to bring in another defensive end and a pass rusher, and then some internal options who we'll talk about who will get some more time. Before we get to topic number 2 and topic number 3, we want to say thank you to a brand new sponsor for hopping on board here on Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports, and that is Tushy. You can see for yourself what products they have to offer at hellotushy.com/chat. Is it selfish or brilliantly anti-capitalist to gift your one true love something that also benefits you? When it's a bidet, everybody wins, because the gift of a clean booty keeps giving for life. 'Tis the season for uncomfortable family dinners. Now's the time to upgrade your only escape hatch from that table by installing a soothing, refreshing bidet in your bathroom. A household full of holiday guests is a beautiful thing until you realize they're endlessly wiping in your bathroom. Where's Aunt Mary? What is she doing? Give your toilet a fighting chance by installing a Tushy bidet today. The Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing or electricity. Washing with the precise stream of fresh water removes 99% of bacteria compared to wiping with toilet paper. Installation is simple and takes about 10 minutes to complete. Literally anyone can do it, including Aunt Mary. It's also easy to use. Sit, do your business, and then turn the knob for a refreshing stream of clean water. Once you're done, simply pat dry with toilet paper. People who have made the switch to Tushy use up to 80% less toilet paper. No more clogged toilets. Save your money and your ass at the same time. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. So give the gift of practical luxury that benefits everyone in your household. Go to hellotushy.com/chat now to grab your deal before it's gone. And don't forget to give us a shout out, Eagles Now by Chat Sports, while you're there, and let them know that we sent you. Again, hellotushy.com/chat for the best gift this holiday season. As for some Brandon Graham replacement options, there are some free agents out there who are mostly on the side of being washed, but some marquee names that we want to go through. My favorite option and the most well-known player spent a lot of time in the NFC East with the New York Giants, and that's Jason Pierre-Paul. If the Eagles were to bring him in, he wouldn't provide the fireworks that he provided the Giants or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he's been a very productive player throughout his career. Melvin Ingram is another one, a well-accomplished player throughout his career. Justin Houston in the NFL for a very long time. Bruce Irvin made multiple stops throughout his NFL career. When he started it with the Seattle Seahawks, a twitchy athletic player coming off the edge. And then there's Genard Avery, who the Eagles traded for back a few years ago and never really ended up doing anything for Philadelphia. Jason Pierre-Paul and Brandon Graham were actually in the same draft class. The Eagles decided to take BG at the edge rusher and defensive end spot over JPP. 94.5 career sacks. He played last year, limited role with Miami, Vic Fangio, so there's some familiarity there. His best days clearly behind him. That's why he hasn't signed with the team, but according to reports, pretty athletic, and he's up for signing with the team, especially after the NFL trade deadline. For Ingram, he too played for Vic Fangio last year, only 95 snaps. He was productive a few years ago, but for him, he's on the back nine and probably on hole 17, 18, maybe even in the clubhouse already if you want to use a golf reference. Justin Houston, a few years ago, very productive as far as his sack total throughout his career. Fine career. 112 sacks in 170 games. That is just excellent production. And then you have Irvin, who's played a lot, 140 career games, not quite the sack production as some of these other players, 56.5 career sacks for him. And then Avery, who the Eagles brought in. They took a chance on a guy who I believe was a former third-round pick for the Cleveland Browns and was never able to find his footing. And so I don't think that Howie Roseman will revisit that, but he is one of the top edge rushers out there, and he just got let go recently. As for the edge rushers on the team, who will have to produce with both Brandon Graham out for the year and then Bryce Huff out for the next few games, Josh Sweat now has 7 sacks. His best year since 2022, and maybe the second best year of his career. He's adapted to this Vic Fangio scheme very well. Going into the season, I wasn't sure how he was going to be able to make the switch to a 3-4, but Fangio's utilized him well, and he's played very well. He's been very active. He's made some good plays against the run as well. Nolan Smith is having a really good year, too. He's been one of the highest graded pass rushers since the Eagles came out of that Week 5 bye. And he's going to get some more action, and I totally think that he's capable. A little bit undersized, but he can win with speed, bend, and twitch around that corner. And then there's Jalyx Hunt, who the Eagles took in the 3rd round, who, after the Bryce Huff injury, we talked about him getting some more playing time for this Philadelphia Eagles defense. And now that BG and Bryce Huff are out, you can expect number 58 to get some more action, too. I also think that Vic Fangio can get a little bit creative with Zach Bond. Prior to Zach Bond signing with Philadelphia and becoming one of the top off-ball linebackers in the NFL, the New Orleans Saints used him as an edge rusher. That's why what he's done this year is so impressive, because he doesn't have a lot of experience playing off-ball linebacker, but we do see that Vic Fangio can use him as a blitzer. Does the same thing with Nakobe Dean. So do you mix those looks in from time to time? And do you send Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean home on some blitzes? Do you fake the blitz and tease it, and then you drop those players back in coverage? That's, of course, a staple of the Vic Fangio defense, too. Milton Williams is having a breakout year. A good time for him, as it's a contract year for him. He can play defensive tackle. He could play a little bit of defensive end, too, in this 3-4 defense. The practice squad options, Taron Jackson has been with this team for a long while, and then O'Shawn Mathis. He's on the taxi club as well. Those players could get elevated. So we'll see what Howie Roseman and Vic Fangio do, but some options there externally and internally. What's your level of concern with BG out? Scale it for me, 1 to 100. Let me know in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.